Lunch in the morning, lunch at night, lunch whenever you feel that it's right. There's no bad time for lunch.
Also, time isn't real.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Youngblood Monday Lunch, Episode 1. My name is RJ Tolan. I'm here with Graham Gillis.
Hello.
We are the co-directors of Youngblood, the company of early career playwrights at Ensemble Studio Theater in New York City. When we are in normal times and when the world is happening the way the world usually happens, we have a program every month, the first Sunday of every month, called the Youngblood Sunday Brunch. And we do 5 short plays by the member playwrights of Youngblood around a theme, and we serve breakfast food and mimosas and get everyone together. And it's a way for us to get our member playwrights a chance to see their work in a room with actors and directors and being worked on as a full play, and most importantly, to see their work in a room with an audience. Obviously, that hasn't been possible for over a year now. So that has shifted online into podcast form, and we are sharing short plays by our member playwrights with you in this podcast. This is episode 1. We have transformed from the Youngblood Sunday Brunch into the Youngblood Monday Lunch. And if we can't be with you in our theater, at least we can be in your ears, still bringing you new plays, an image that Graham finds deeply disturbing. Graham will tell you a little bit more about what is coming up in the rest of this series.
Allow me to set the scene. RJ and I are standing 6 feet apart in the lobby of the Ensemble Studio Theater in beautiful downtown Hell's Kitchen, because that's where we keep our microphones. Inside the theater stands the set of Georgia Murching is Dead, a play that we intended to strike over a year ago. All is stillness. But within that stillness, the mighty heart of the Ensemble Studio Theater beats on. To stand inside these walls, it's the greatest. And we wish you were here too. Every edition of the Youngblood Monday Lunch has a theme. This theme is science, which means it's part of the EST Sloan Project, a collaboration between the Ensemble Studio Theater and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation to present new plays about science and technology. Before we begin today's play, we want to acknowledge that Ensemble Studio Theater and all of New York City are located on Lenape-Hoking. That's the unceded traditional territory of the Lenni Lenape people. We at EST want to pay respect to the Lenape and acknowledge all Indigenous peoples that continue to live, work, create, and contribute here on Lenape-Hoking.
Because the First Light Festival that this is a part of celebrates science and scientists and scientific advancements, we want to acknowledge that the field of science owes a tremendous debt to labor that was forced or exploited, to the suffering of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And we want to hold them in our thoughts and acknowledge them and honor their sacrifices and contributions to the progress of science and to the theater that we create to celebrate it.
Today's play is The World is Full of, written and directed by Youngblood playwright Mona Pirnot.
Next time I'm sad, remind me of eels. Remind me that eels live in 4 life cycles. Remind me that first they live in the sea as little leaf-like larvae. Then they travel thousands of miles and become snaky see-through eels. Then they grow fins and jaws and become yellowy-brown eels and migrate for miles and miles and miles and miles until they decide to stop and stay in one place, any place, truly any place. You'd be surprised at the places they'll survive in: rivers, ditches, ponds, lakes, dry land, wherever it is, they just find a place and stop. And stay. In that one place. For years. Until one day the yellowy-brown eel decides to become a silver eel, so it swims back to the sea and its body turns black with a silver racing stripe, and its stomach dissolves and it grows sex organs for the first time in its life, and it finds its way back to the exact place where it was born, and it has babies and dies. That's the life of an eel. Astounding. Mysterious. Remind me of that when I get sad. Next time I get sad, remind me that a dying tree will donate its carbon to healthy neighbor trees who still have their whole lives ahead of them. Remind me trees warn each other of danger. Remind me that the oldest tree in the world is named Methuselah. She's 5,000 years old. She's a bristlecone pine. She lives in California's White Mountains, but her exact location is a secret. Humans can't be trusted with it because, unlike trees, we're selfish. The next time I inevitably get sad, remind me that writer and podcast producer and personal hero Lulu Miller says that fish don't exist. Whoa. That's provocative. When I told my Aunt Amy that fish don't exist, she said, "Yeah, they do. I caught one yesterday." But what writer and podcast producer and personal hero Lulu Miller means is that a lungfish is more closely related to a cow than it is to a salmon. A coelacanth is more closely related to a human than it is to a tuna or a trout. We call those things in the water fish. But those things in the water can have, evolutionarily speaking, less in common with each other than they do with species who live on land. So why do we call all of those things fish? We don't call everything that flies a bird. It begs the question, do fish even exist? It's more than semantics. It's existential. I'm not doing the best job explaining it. Lulu does the best job explaining it. Read Lulu's book. Y'all should read Lulu's book. I love Lulu's book because it's mostly about science, but it's also about her. The balance of nonfiction and autobiography is really affecting. In one chapter she's like, "I tried to kill myself as a teenager," and in the next chapter she's like, "Okay, here's more science." I hope Lulu wouldn't mind me mentioning her suicide attempt. It's certainly not a spoiler. Mention of suicide should never be described as a spoiler. I only hope that if she were to hear the way I talk about her, she would understand how much I was helped by her book. Her book gave me hope during the worst year of my life. Her book is a new release. Next time I get sad, and I will get sad. I get sad. I get so sad. Let me tell you real quick how sad I get. I get so sad I can't speak. I get so sad I can't move. I get so sad I lay on the floor and watch the dust until my boyfriend is like, "Hey BB, maybe you should take a shower." Next time I get that sad, remind me that technology is cool. People like to say technology is scary, but I think technology is cool. Last year I discovered an album made with artificial intelligence. The album used an AI program to write new arrangements for old folk songs. I love this album. I love it very much. My favorite song on the album is the AI orchestrated cover of Amazing Grace. I played it for my mom on a car trip and she said, "I don't like it. It makes me think of the end of the world." Then she fell asleep and I drove down I-75 listening to artificially intelligent Amazing Grace and crying because it was so unpredictable. It was beautiful. Technology is amazing. How sweet the sound. That saved a wretch like me. Technology is helpful. I didn't know what exactly a wretch was until I googled it just now. Wretch. An unfortunate or unhappy person. Yeah, that's me, LOL. Next time I'm feeling like a wretch, remind me of Microsoft David. This is Microsoft David speaking now. Microsoft David is a text-to-speech tool that I find helpful. I like to have Microsoft David read my words back to me because he's not emotive and is good with rhythm. but sometimes he says red instead of red. Okay, it seems he can only ever say read. Wait, why did he just finally say read instead of red? Hey, listen to that. Now he's got it? This is surprising. The next time I'm sad, remind me Microsoft David will surprise me. Surprises are important when you are depressed. Because depression is like blah blah blah, who cares, what's the point, I'll be sad forever, nothing ever changes, etc. When I'm sad I think I can see the future and the future is sad. Surprises remind us that we cannot see the future. When I get sad and think that I am a sad psychic who can see the sad future, remind me to go to talktotransformer.com. Talktotransformer.com is full of surprises. It is my favorite website. It is a simple looking website. It is user friendly. This is what it looks like. There is a text box. Under the text box is a button that says complete. You write a sentence in the text box. You press the button that says complete. Then an artificially intelligent neural network will finish your thought. It will generate sentences to follow your sentence. The AI was trained with language from millions of websites until it learned to simulate writing like a human. It can almost write like a human. But not quite. It almost always gets weird. Here's an example. I typed in the text box, it almost always gets weird. Here's what the AI said. Quote, "It almost always gets weird when people start talking about how much they love kids. I don't always see that. I see it when people say they love little children, young children, teenagers, teens with different characteristics than usual teenagers. So I was really glad to hear P say he loves kids. And I think you guys who love kids know what I mean when I say that I have absolutely no reservations about calling him one of the good ones." End quote. Ha ha ha, isn't that great? Ha ha ha, isn't that unsettling? I love that website so much, ha ha, I love that website so much I've lost days to it, ha 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 ha, oh man. It makes me laugh. It's good to laugh. It hasn't been so easy to laugh lately. It hasn't been easy. It's been hard. It's been so hard. I showed a draft of this play to my boyfriend. I played him a demo recording. He liked it. Yay. He did have one thought. He's full of good thoughts. He's like a super successful playwright, so I usually listen to his thoughts on plays, lol. He said it was effective to find out who the speaker was partway through. He said it was effective to catch up to the play and find out that the speaker is not a robot expressing robot thoughts but a person expressing sadness and veiling it through a robot voice, beep beep boop boop. He did wonder if the play wanted to pull back the veil. He talks like that. He'll say things like, "I'm finding out what the play wants to be." He talks about his plays as if they make choices outside of him and his main job is to listen. He asks, "What does this play want? Does it want to pull back the veil?" I know what he's getting at. I know what he means. But I disagree. I don't think plays want things. I think playwrights want things. Or don't want things. And I don't want to talk about it. I want to laugh, ha 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 ha, I want to laugh, ha 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 ha, it feels so good to ha ha to laugh, ha ha. Ha ho ha ho ha ho ha 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 ho 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 ha ha. Oh man. Phew. That's good stuff. Where was I? Oh yeah. I was talking about the thing I don't want to talk about. Hey, let me just say a few more things about eels. Eels are not defined by time. Eels defy time. Eels have secrets and trees are selfless and fish might not exist and robots write music and robots can say hello, hello, and neural networks make us laugh, ha ha ha, and there are always more surprises. Some of them are not the good kind but some of them totally are. The world is full of wonder, the world is full of wonder. Let me end with a scene between me and my mom. Picture this. My mom and I are walking. It's incredible that we're walking. It was hard enough to get out of bed that day. But there we were. Me and Mom. Walking. Picture it. I say to my mom, Mom, what are we going to do? She said to me, Mona, we'll do what we've done before. We'll go on. We'll keep going on. As long as there are still things to love about the world, we'll go on. There was silence. Picture silence. Then she said, Mona, living with the world is like living with anyone else who you love. It's not always easy. You don't always like them. But as long as you love them, you keep going. She said, Mona. I said, yes. She said, do you still love the world? I said, yes.
You've been listening to episode 1 of the Youngblood Monday Lunch. The World is Full of, a new play, written and directed by Youngblood playwright Mona Pirnot. Music by Peter Mark Kendall. Sound design by Caroline Eng.
The staff of the Ensemble Studio Theater are Artistic Director Billy Carden, Executive Director Susan Vitucci, Associate Artistic Director, Co-Director of Youngblood, and Program Director of the ESD Sloan, Graham Gillis, Director of Play Development and Associate Director of ESD Sloan, Lizzie Furman, Co-Director of Youngblood, RJ Tolan, General Manager Liz Uchtman, Production Manager Jack Plow, Development Manager Aaron Hawk, Brand Marketing Manager Harrison Densmore, Communications and Audience Services Manager Samantha Sembler, Finance Director Jonathan Suarez, Literary Associate Nikamay Anderson, Production and Operations Producing Apprentice Mariel Sanchez, Development Assistant Joey Nasta, and Facilities Manager Jose Sanchez.
EST is encouraging all of our audiences to support Black Girls Do STEM. They're a nonprofit organization that envisions a future with equitable representation for Black women in all of the STEM fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Their mission is to inspire curiosity in all these STEM fields among Black girls in every community through access, education, and opportunity. You can find them at bgdstem.com. We encourage you to support their important work and a more equitable future.
Thank you so much for being here for episode 1 of the Youngblood Monday Lunch. Stay tuned. Keep an eye on this podcast space. Hit the subscribe button. We hope we will hear you again from within your ears.
Thank you, everybody.
In the near future. Perfect.
Yeah, done.
Unimprovable.